New videos every day.
My name is Joseph Strickland. I'm an applied clinical nutritionist in Austin, Texas. I'm also carry a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition Science. And today, I'm going to talk about the ideal diet for you as a human being. And the true answer to that is I have no idea. And the reason for that is because it depends on you as an individual, what your parents ate, what your grandparents ate, what your ancestry ate. Each person responds differently to food. If you look at it from a nutritional science perspective, they try to boil it down to number of calories. Some would argue that it's how fast something turns into sugar and how it affects your insulin and various things like that. And all those things are true. But how food affects you is different from how it affects me. There are certain truths to how it affects you, and that's what I do clinically, is work to find what the best diet is for each person that I work with. A good example, and this didn't happen in my office, I wish it did, but it's a story of a client that went into another nutritionist's office, and it's a really interesting one. And it's a lady who was a Russian mail order bride. She was ordered off the internet from a very wealthy man, and to all accounts, he actually loved her, so I'm not really going to debate the whole mail order bride component. However, what's interesting is she came into the office because she was experiencing abdominal discomfort and she was having trouble with food. She had gone to medical doctors, all kinds of different practitioners to try to figure this out. Gastroendocrinologists, they had done scans, they had done x-rays, they had done all kinds of different things to see if she had an ulcer or various other problems. Well, she went into a very smart nutritionist's office and he asked her, when this happened, explain it, everything like that. And most of the time it happened on Thursdays. So he asked her, what do you do on Wednesdays? Well, we always have a nice steak. We go to this very fancy restaurant, fanciest in town. Well, he said, well, when you were in Russia, what part of Russia were you in? Well, we were up in the mountains, Well, did you eat steak? No, we didn't have steak. We ate rice, we ate vegetables, we had some seaweed, things like that. And once a year, we would share a fish because it would get warm enough where we could go outside and we could catch fish. Things were to where we could fish, and the whole village would share this fish. Let me bring your husband in, he says. They go over this, and she stops eating steak, and her abdominal discomfort goes away. So for her, obviously, a high-fat, high-protein diet was not right. She might do better with what we would call a vegan or a raw food type diet. Now, I've had other people where they try to eat a vegan or a raw diet, and they literally go stir crazy, and they operate better when they have a high amount of protein. So I don't advocate eating meat or not eating meat. It just depends on how your digestive system works. One thing I will say, though, never before in the history of man have we had food that is made for your taste buds with a whole bunch of chemicals and with nutrients stripped away, so you just get the starch or the sugar component of it. Sugar was very rare up until recently, and so we didn't have Hostess Ding Dongs and, Coca-Cola and all of these different processed foods that give you very quick energy and then bring you down. So that almost always is a food that most people do not thrive on. And also an indication as to how well a diet is working for you is if you're way overweight, 100, 200 pounds overweight, most likely the diet that you're eating is not working the best for your metabolism. Some people would argue that being overweight, slightly overweight is okay. And some people would say that being underweight is slightly better. And I think it depends on the individual. Everybody has the weight that works best for them. And I don't like to label people with a certain thing. However, morbid obesity is definitely something that I don't feel is healthy. It's not normal. And I believe a lot of that comes from processed foods and foods that have been changed or altered from their original. There's a lot of different resources out there that talk about foods. There's the paleo diet. That might work for somebody who does better on a high protein diet. There's the vegan diet, where you eat no meat and you're very restricted on what foods you eat, but those foods are generally very good. Sometimes people like a vegetarian diet, and some vegetarian diets can be really, really healthy for you. The problem that I have is when somebody eats wheat with cheese, and that's all they have, and that's their vegetarian diet. They don't actually eat any vegetables. They just eat processed white flour and some cheese. So that doesn't quite cut it. That's not a healthy diet. So what's best and what I oftentimes recommend is for people to write down what they're eating. Keep track of how well they're sleeping, how much energy you have. Over time, you'll start to see patterns, and you can work with your diet little by little. Start with breakfast. Start making changes and seeing what works better for you. If you have oatmeal every morning and by noon you're about to faint and you're starving, maybe that's turning into sugar too fast and affecting your glycemic index of the food is affecting your blood sugar. So, look at how food affects you. That's something that I certainly do. I'm able to look at what somebody's eating, see how they're doing, and then make recommendations that help them feel and have better overall health. That's one of the main things that I do. And so you can do that for yourself. It helps to have some idea of how foods affect you. And so that's where my school comes in handy for people. But anyway, go to my website, nutritionaustin.com. I've got a lot of information there. You can rate this video, leave comments, and write, in the comment section what diet works best for you. But one thing I will tell you is just because a diet's right for you doesn't mean that it's right for everyone else. And so I wouldn't necessarily leave a comment like, oh, you've got to eat vegan. It's for everybody. Vegan isn't for everybody. Neither is a high-fat diet. So look at what works best for you, and then we'll have a discussion. Have a great day.
Please subscribe to our channel, and you should also visit our new website. Because we have over 1,300 videos on our channel, I know it can be a little difficult to navigate and find the videos that you want to see. But if you visit us at psychetruth.net, you'll be able to find the videos you want to see and watch them there. So we encourage you to go to Psyche Truth next time you want to search for something, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.